Hello, hello, how is this? I hope you can hear me now. You should be hearing me now. So, as I just said, even though you didn't hear it, we're gonna have a look at the new GT3 cars today. Starting with the Mercedes on the Nurburgring. And we will also dive into the Audi and the Corvette later. You probably already saw the race department stream the other day, where our physics developer Alex Hutchinson went into great detail about the physics. So if you have missed that, make sure to go on the race department YouTube channel and check that out. So I won't be talking about physics much, but rather have some racing with these new cars. I hope you can hear me now. Loud and clear, good. I don't know what it is with OBS, it just does weird things sometimes. So the new cars are coming out this week, so you will not have to wait much longer. Game 1. I think the first thing that you will notice to be a lot different compared to the old cars is the way they brake. It's a much better brake performance, but you also have to brake much deeper into the corner. So if my pedal overlay is working, then you can probably see that you can brake very deep into the corners. A lot of trail braking. Let these two Corvettes pass here. Never mind the in-game name, this is just a dev build thing. So obviously I'm driving here the latest build that we have internally. I'll definitely give you a proper sound preview as well later. I will crank the sound up a bit so you can really enjoy the work Anthony has done here. Once again, brilliant job by him. I would say the cars sound exactly like the real car. Can't get much closer than this. So I was thinking we're doing a few practice laps and then a short race, maybe 20-minute race, and then we're gonna change the car, go to a new track, and do another 20-minute race there. We have discussed it internally to split the classes, yeah, but that will not be the case when these cars come out. But at some point in the future that might be an option, yeah. I think it would be nice for sure to be able to race only the new cars. Let's wait here so we have an opponent we can race a little bit with. Porsche is not in the patch that is coming out this week now, but they're still set to be released in 2017, so we're probably looking at December, or very likely, or indeed, in fact, December, because that's the last month of the year, isn't it? Let's see if we can chase this Audi a little bit. Now the Audi has more aero than the other cars, so that means he's a bit quicker in the fast corners. And I'm gaining a little bit here on the straight. obviously a bit in the slipstream as well. We have done quite a few tests in the past weeks for the balance of performance of the cars, which was a huge challenge because there's so many cars in this class and so many different cars as well. You have the Camaro, and then you have the Audis and Z4s, Corvettes, McLarens, all these GT3 cars, to find the perfect balance to make them all the same pace on different tracks. It's really a tough challenge, but I think we did a pretty good job. But of course we could only test it so long because it's very time consuming to do laps on all kinds of circuits with all these cars. So might very well be that we have to tweak the balance of performance in a future patch at some point, but I think we have a pretty good base for you to enjoy when the car come out. Hi Michael. So overall the cars are much more drivable than the previous version, the one that is currently out. You have to push much more to really get close to the limit and make the car oversteer and stuff like that. So I think we will see some pretty nice online racing in these cars. Hello Sim Colin. Hi Timo. Also the dash you can see here, the data display in the cars are as close to the real thing as possible. You need to map a key because obviously you can flip pages on those. Don't know yet about the price, but it will probably be very similar to what the last GT3 cars that came out costed. So if you look at the price of the BMW or the McLaren 650S, it will probably around that price. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to do some online racing with these. Maybe I would even join a league. Formula E, they don't really sound that good, do they? I've seen our Factor 2 has come out with a Formula E pack. Is it out yet? I don't know actually. But not really my cup of tea, those cars. Oops, braked a bit too late here. So I tell you what, we'll jump into the quali session, do a lap, and then let's see where we start in the race. The AI is at 210%. I agree, Christopher. TCR would be nice. We will see. We will see. Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't pushing that hard, and I was also driving with a full tank of fuel, so we will see now in the quali session how competitive we are. Yes, the BMW will also receive an update. All the cars in the GT3 class will have a new set of physics. So even if you already own these cars, they will all be updated. We recently had Maximilian Götz test driving these cars, or this car in particular, the Mercedes. So you will probably find a video of that test session very soon on the RaceRoom social media sites and YouTube. Yes, I will definitely show you the sound in more detail from inside and outside. Let me just complete one lap here for the quali session. We're running 35 AI opponents on this track. Yes, this is the 64-bit version of the game. I really like how precise you can drive these cars. With the older cars it was always a bit difficult, really difficult to not make small mistakes. The car was always doing something that you really didn't ask it to do. It looks like the AI is a bit quicker than us. But that's fine, because then we will have a more entertaining race. We have a Corvette in the mirror. Cars are behaving really well over the curbs as well. Unless you lose the entire grip, then that will result in a spin, of course. Very late on the brake. Let's see what this lap was good for. Hello Jeff, how's it going? Okay, 1:59. I think that's pretty good. Let's return to garage and change to the race session. So 20 minutes race. That means, yeah, let's just put in a little bit more to be safe. And jump into the race. I'll show you the sound. Oh, we are on P4, nice. I'll show you the replay of this race so you can get in some of the sound. And I will also increase the volume for that. So we got a BMW and two Mercedes ahead of us. And another Mercedes swooshing by. 64-bit version has really nothing to do with graphics, it's only performance optimization. The car is a little bit understeering in the default setup, but I'm sure you guys can figure out a good setup to make it less understeer. It will probably help to soften the front anti-roll bar, for example. Cars on Nordschleife should be possible, yes, in single player for sure. Probably not in multiplayer. I'm actually curious myself how many cars we can have now in multiplayer. It would probably be good to do another big grid test sometime after the patch to see where the new limit is, if there is a new limit. Hi Rafa. See how deep I was braking into that corner? We got 4 Mercedes in the lead, the podium right ahead of me. I really like how the cars brake now. You can really be very precise in the amount of braking. It's really nice to have such a great feeling for the brake. Pretty interesting fight here for the lead with these AI Mercedes. I think we can grab him now. And we're on P3. Took a little too much of the curb right there. That's Gary Paffett behind us. Stefan Mücke and Felix Rosenquist ahead of us. So far the tires are holding up very well. We're only 6 minutes into the race, of course. It'll be interesting to see how worn down they will be after 20 minutes, but I think it will be not so bad. By the way, I don't know if you're a regular on my streams, then maybe you notice a little improvement in the smoothness in the frames per second in the stream. I figured out how to let RaceRoom run on the first 4 cores and the OBS on the second 4. You can do that by assigning or setting the affinity of the program to certain cores. And I think so far the test I did was really promising. I was always struggling a bit with frame drops when streaming RaceRoom. Because obviously it is very CPU intense. Lots of calculations, physics and AI and whatnot. But by setting the affinity to the first 4 cores to RaceRoom and limiting OBS on the other 4 cores, I think I'm getting good results. And the fight for the lead is still going on. Well, you can set the traction control. You can even do that while driving. But you probably know that already. And ABS, well, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think they can adjust that in the real car even. You can adjust the brake strength and the brake bias, obviously. But if the real car doesn't use, or let's say doesn't have adjustable ABS, then it doesn't really make sense to simulate it that way. Now, of course, I might be wrong, and they do have adjustable ABS. In that case, I was wrong, but I doubt it, to be honest. As Maxi Götz said when he was test driving the car the other day, he was really surprised by the setup and how the changes affect the driving and the amount of options that we have in the game or in the sim. Okay, we're almost half time. Closing in on the leaders here. Looks like it's gonna be a Mercedes podium at the Nurburgring. You. Man, the AI is really having a nice fight there in the lead. I'm so looking forward to drive these cars online with you guys. I think we will have a lot of fun. The advantage of the 64-bit version is that especially with large grids and tracks like Nordschleife, you will not have any issues anymore with memory. Obviously there's a lot of textures to be loaded and sound files and all those things that go into the memory, and it could happen until now that the game just runs out of memory and crashes, and that luckily, hopefully, should be solved with 64-bit version. So if you have a 64-bit operating system and enough RAM in your computer, I would recommend, or let's say you need to have at least more than 4 GB of RAM, but probably you already have 8 or 16 anyway. So in that case, you can easily do 100 cars on Nordschleife without the game crashing. So that will be a huge improvement, of course. Man, AI is really competitive at 110%. I need to focus a bit so I can close that gap. We got 8 minutes to go in this race. For the next race, I was thinking we're driving the Audi on Sachsenring. And later on we'll drive the Corvette, maybe at Red Bull Ring. Which one is my favorite? It's so tough to say because every car is really awesome in itself. I mean, I really enjoy the sound of the AMG here, but also the Audi sounds really, really good. But the Corvette too. And they all look great as well, so it's really difficult to pick a favorite. But I think you will probably see me in the AMG Mercedes on the servers most of the time. AI keeps swapping lead. Pretty cool to see that. We got a very nice seat to watch that battle right ahead of us. Also, the traction of the cars has improved a lot. No 64-bit, you will have the option when you launch RaceRoom from Steam, you will get the option to launch the 32-bit or 64-bit version. But of course, if your system supports it, definitely recommend sticking to the 64-bit version from now on. So if you have a desktop shortcut for RaceRoom, you might need to update that one. Not sure actually. I think you need to. Man, this is close. I need to close that gap. It's a bit off the line there, missed the apex. Let's reduce the traction control a little bit, maybe that helps with the corner exit understeer. course, too much traction control is not good because then you do get understeer coming out of the corners, and you want just the right amount of traction control so you can just slide a little bit out of the corner. Well, not sliding, but have that great line out of the corner. It's braking very late here. Managed to squeeze myself by these guys. Any news about new tracks? Well, we are working on new tracks, so that much I can tell you. We'll see about when official information will get out about that. But I think once you learn, you will be pretty excited. So once I completed this lap, I will load up the replay and crank up the sound a little bit for you guys from the exterior, so you can enjoy the beautiful sounds of the AMG as we're getting past again. Wow. Let's see if I can outbrake him here on the outside. He was off the racing line, so he braked a little bit earlier. Alright, so now I'll just hit the instant replay button and change the volume for a bit. I'll go silent for a minute or two and then I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, I think this was a pretty good teaser for the sound. It's really amazing. If you have a good pair of headphones, it's really amazing. Or even better if you have a subwoofer and a 5.1 surround. So now we're gonna go and pick the Audi. And go to the Sachsenring. Yes, car collection, you guessed it. Nice camera work, thank you. Alright. Let me show you a little bit of the cockpit here. Very nice and detailed steering wheel. You can even see the springs on the shift pedals right there. And yeah, usual quality around there in the cockpit, but really nice display and really nice steering wheel. I like it a lot. So let's see how this car drives then. We should leave the free camera, of course, before we drive. You hear that buzzing noise when you downshift? That is exactly like it sounds in the real car. If you ever watched any onboards of the Audi and other cars, you can hear this. What is it? It's a pump that fires the gearbox, I think, like some sort of electronic or hydraulic system that puts in the gears. You will hear next time when I downshift. Hopefully, if the volume is still loud enough, you can maybe hear it. Maybe not here. Probably need to go down into the lower gears. Exactly that sound, lol, what? Well, obviously it's not so loud compared to the engine, but you can still hear it. Don't know if the volume is still loud enough so you guys can hear it through the stream, but it's a really nice touch. So let's see if we can do a nice lap here in the Audi on the Sachsenring. Bit of oversteer there. This should be a good track for the Audi. It has a lot of high-speed corners where you need a lot of downforce. That was the noise again. Well, it drives quite different from the current one. I would recommend, if in doubt, you can always test drive cars for free in RaceRoom. I'm sure you will not be disappointed. Just make sure to give it a few laps, because with every new physics set, you know, it takes a little while to get used to how the cars drive. But I think the improvement is pretty obvious. I also love the sound of the Audi, very unique sound. Actually, yeah, let me map a button for the display so I can change that page. So here we got tire wear and tire temp. If I'm not mistaken, then getting tires up to temperature is now a bigger factor than before. So it may take a lap or two until you're up in the ideal temps for tires. Except in various game modes like leaderboard challenge, I believe the tires come preheated now. For race session, I'm not sure myself if the tires are preheated for race or not, but I don't think so, to be honest. We can check when we go into race session. We got the brake temperatures on the display, as well as oil and water. But to be honest, I never really monitor those temperatures, because, you know, you need to drive on the limit anyway all the time. If anything, I do manage the tire wear during a race. That is a bigger factor. But that's also more of an overall driving style thing. Some people use more of the tires quicker, and others can preserve them a little bit better. It's important that you don't overdrive the car. You need to learn and accept the limits of what the car can do and drive it just on that limit. If you just steer more, the car will just understeer, like this. It will not turn more, it will just understeer, and you're definitely burning your tires doing this. So you need to find that edge just on the limit of the tire, which luckily you can really feel it well through the force feedback, where the tire reaches its peak performance. Alright, this feels good. Let's overtake this BMW here. Very late on the brake, but just in time. The gear ratios, by the way, guys, they are exactly like in a real car, and they are also not adjustable as per GT3 regulations. You might find them a little bit off in the beginning, but then I had the same feeling when I first tried out the cars, but then I was actually looking at onboard videos, and yeah, sure enough, this is exactly the length of the gears as in real life. Obviously these GT3 cars are being used on many different circuits all around the world, and the gears need to be long enough to work on all kinds of circuits. Especially Nordschleife is a special case, of course, where you really need a long 6th gear. Yeah, I'm running default setup. Yeah, the new GT3 cars will be in the GT3 class that is currently available, but we already have discussed the possibility of splitting the new cars to make a current and an old gen GT3 class, which might be the case in the future, but not at patch day. At patch day they will be all in the same class, which of course, for those of you who haven't bought the GT3 pack yet, the class pack, means that you can buy the GT3 class pack and probably get a good price on it. This is a really fun corner, especially in the Audi. It's really good in those high-speed corners. So let's come into the pits and jump into quali for this race. Yeah, triple screen support will become available as well on patch day. There will be detailed instructions on the forums, Sector 3 forums, on how to set it up, because you will need to enter an argument in Steam with various values of your screen width, etc. So you can perfectly set it up, and from there you will also have an option in-game to fine-tune it. So while you are sitting here in the pit lane, you can adjust the field of view, for example, like that, and you will also be able to somehow compensate for a potential offset in the vertical dimension if you're not sitting dead center, because the game will calculate a realistic field of view and position of the camera depending on the assumption that you're sitting dead center. So your eye level would be exactly center of the screen, but that might not be the case for you, so there will be buttons that you can bind so you can adjust that. So basically it would do something like this, so you can find your perfect view in triple screen. So let's go into quali. Or are we in quali? No. And do a quick lap, and then we jump into the race. Tires? No, I think there's only one compound, same as in real life. Yeah, we are on a hard set of tires. There's no different compounds in the GT3 series in real life, so it doesn't really make sense, so it's not the first choice to add another compound in the sim. So tire temps are now around 80. Let's see if we can heat them up. Or that might actually be already preheated. I'm not sure. I almost think that, yeah, those are preheated tires. Let's switch back to the lap time and delta page of the display. So in case you didn't know, you can bind a button to switch those pages on the display. Okay, then let's try a quick lap now. I can increase the sound a bit, but then hopefully you will still hear me, but let's see. I will put it on 8 in the Windows mixer. So let's see if you can still hear me now. Hopefully. Really feel the downforce build up in the high speed corners. As you accelerate, you can feel the grip building up. It's really nice actually. Alright, good lap. Let's hope this will not put us on pole, because then we will have a more interesting race. So let's jump into race session now. Again, 20 minutes. We have enough fuel. Looks like we managed the pole. Let's let a few guys pass so we can chase them around. This Audi is particularly beautiful, I think. The green and chrome livery looks awesome. And the Mobile 1 AMG. Both of those are actually from GT Masters, I believe. The AI difficulty is set to 110%, which was a bit more competitive on Nurburgring. Looks like the AI is a bit struggling. I see in this corner it's going a bit slow. But nonetheless, I'm sure we will enjoy this race. See the live delta on the display showing up in green. Well, now it's probably gonna drop into the red, or maybe not. As much as I like driving against AI, I'm even looking more forward to drive this online with you guys. So definitely, once the patch comes out this week, I'll I'll see you guys on the RaceRoom servers, hopefully. Tricky, that last corner. It's very easy to oversteer on the exit. Again, very deep braking. Very underrated track, this Sachsenring. If you haven't yet, then I definitely recommend checking it out. So we had two Mercedes fighting for the lead in Nurburgring, and here it's actually the Audis as well challenging for the lead. Nice. Probably a huge event, the MotoGP at Sachsenring, I can imagine. That was not an ideal line through that corner. Yeah, the AI in RaceRoom can be a little bit aggressive in the first lap, but once that is sorted, and if you have qualified on a position that you are that matches your pace, then you can definitely have great races. The AI is racing each other as well, as we can see. More Opel cars. Well, we'll see about that. I quite like how the Opel looks in the TCR class. I think it's a pretty cool car. So have you guys heard that WTCC might merge with TCR in the future? That was pretty exciting news. It's only a rumor so far, but it's said that they have signed a 2-year contract for the TCR regulations to be used in WTCC. That could be an interesting affair. Favorite class or series? Well, GT3 obviously is a very great class, very nice class. You just have so many different manufacturers in that class, so many different concepts. You have front engine, mid engine, rear engine cars. You have V10s, V8s, and they all look like actual cars that you can buy, just more sexy. So I would definitely say GT3 is a good candidate. It's definitely up there with my favorite classes. But I also do enjoy the DTM cars. But then again, there's also the historic cars like Group 5 and GTO. Those are awesome cars as well. So it's really hard to pick one favorite. But I can tell you that in the coming weeks and months I'll definitely race GT3 a lot. So hopefully I'll see you guys on the servers and we can do some races together. I also do enjoy driving on the Nordschleife a lot, and GT3 cars are definitely the cars that you wanna drive on that track. Unless you're old school and you wanna drive old DTM cars on the Nordschleife, which obviously has also very good entertainment value. I think it's about time we overtake this guy. It's like half time in the race. Bit sketchy that corner. GT4, well, we already announced one GT4 car coming to RaceRoom, which is the KTM Crossbow GT4, and I'm sure it will not be the only car in that class in the future. Wow, we got an Audi in the lead now. Mercedes pushing from behind. He almost pushed me into a mistake here. Yeah, Cayman sounds like a good idea, if you ask me. Our contract with DTM ran out in 2016, so that's why there is no DTM 2017. But of course you had the chance to drive the Mercedes 2017 for free in RaceRoom. But it will not show up in the store. You need to understand that DTM license was very expensive for us. And we already have now, what, 4 seasons? No, 3 seasons. No, wait, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 4 seasons of DTM we have already in RaceRoom. And since the cars are not really changing that much... Whoops, sorry. Well, that's actually nice to see that the AIs now, when you touch them, they are not like on rails anymore, like they used to be sometimes in RaceRoom. When you hit an AI car, it almost felt like it didn't even register that you hit it. But as you could see now, this has changed a bit to the physics, of course, that Alex has updated. I think he mentioned something about changing the inertia values, which has probably played into this phenomenon. So that's quite cool to see that actual crash now has more consequences, be it for the player or AI opponent cars. Schiebenhaus. BMW M8 GTE. Well, currently we don't have a GTE class in RaceRoom, so it would be a very lonely car if we would make it, but who knows in the future. We might give that class some love, who knows. It's all a bit uncertain where this Le Mans series and the GTEs will go in the future. But I think the GTEs are probably here to stay. It's just the prototypes that are ceasing to exist, looks like. Now that Porsche is out, Audi is out, it's pretty much only Toyota left, or have they left as well? And of course the private teams like Rebellion. But it's a bit sad to see the development in WEC and Le Mans. May very well be that they only choose to run LMP2 cars in the prototypes in the future. But yeah, as I said, the GTE class is probably here to stay. But who knows, they might undergo some changes as well. But yeah, there are many cool cars that would fit in RaceRoom perfectly. But it's one thing after another, guys. We have 3 new cars coming out this week and 3 Porsches waiting for you in 2017, so I think we'll have plenty of options, plenty of nice race cars to drive for a while. And then of course work never stops in RaceRoom. After the patch is before the patch. The guys are always working on getting new licenses, on building new cars and trucks, of course, as well. Opel Manta VLN. Oh hell yeah, I drove that car a lot in R Factor, in the VLN mod. That was good fun. I actually worked on that mod back then with a few guys. It even has an animated foxtail on the antenna. That was really cool. Okay, we only get one more lap after this one, I think, so let's make a move here for the lead. Really enjoying this Audi as well, how it drives. So after this race we will jump into the Callaway Corvette. It's also an awesome car. Here we go then. This is it. Let's break this car down. Yes. Wow. A bit loose there over the bump. But you can really catch those cars very well up to a certain point. But if you go completely insane, then obviously you will lose the car unless at some point you can correct all you want. When the tires give up, they give up. Actually, the full black carbon livery on the Callaway, I don't know if it will make it into the release. Let's actually, okay, I missed it. I wanted to go into the replay, but I think you had a pretty good sound teaser already on the Nurburgring. So yeah, let me choose the Corvette now, and then we go on the Red Bull Ring. Be right back. Alright then, we are in the Callaway Corvette on the Red Bull Ring. Also sounds amazing. As you may or may not know, we recorded this car directly on board at the Sachsenring, where the Callaway competition guys have invited us. This is also a very nice cockpit. You can see the... what do you call this in English? It's like a... gear translation? No, I don't know how you would call that, but it's a very nice detail on the steering wheel. Nice work on the pedals as well. Personally, I like the circle-shaped wheels more, but these modern race cars, they are now going in this direction of having these formula-type rims. Good stuff, good stuff. So let's see how it drives. Yeah, the AMG is hard to beat in the sound department. But this car is very, very nice as well. A rubber band? Yeah, I don't think it's a rubber band. Also very pointy, this car, I like it. Let the AMG pass and we can chase him around a bit. Yeah, belt. That might actually be the word. It's like a belt-driven sim wheel. That's right. Ooh, I can see this car is fast on the straights. How many skins are there? That's a good question. I can check. I'm not sure, because here in the dev build there are some liveries are duplicates and some are placeholders, so I cannot exactly confirm it with you. I don't know if Jeff is still here watching, probably not. He would know. But it's not a lot, obviously, because there's not a lot of real-life liveries on this car. I think we have 5 or 6, or maybe just 4. There's this roller Corvette, then there's a white and wet one, and there's a black and orange one. I can maybe cycle through some cars here on track and then we'll find out. Yes, Love G, that is in fact true. New wheel, TS-PC Racer. Really enjoying it. So let's see. Let me park my car here. And then we see. There's the Audi of Michaela Olin Kotulinski, female Audi driver, used to or is driving in GT Masters. So we got this one, number 77, the 13, that's also GT Masters, ITK Engineering, so that's 2. Then we have this one, that's 3. That's also GT Masters if I'm not mistaken, yes. Is that's another one, isn't it? Or did we have that one already? No, exactly, that's number 4. And I think that's it actually. This one I don't think will make an appearance in the game. It's just a bit too bland. Not looking that great, to be honest. And I don't know if there are any licensing issues or questions that might stop it from being released. But yeah, I think those are the ones. It's all those we could find in real life, so this one I like as well. Very nice livery. Kelvin van der Linde. Black Falcon. This is the twin bush Audi, driving in VLN and 24 hours Nurburgring. This is the Manfilter AMG, also from GT Masters. And this is, I believe, is it the WRT Audi? Anyway, looks like an Audi factory livery of some sort. Haribo, Mercedes, of course, it's a must-have. This one I'm not too familiar with. Looks like an Asian livery. Might be from Asia, GT Asia, or some similar series. This one of my favorites. Chrome and green from GT Masters. You already know the BMW. Yeah. What's this one? Also nice. Looks like a Bathurst livery, or Australian GT. Yeah, so plenty of liveries. I'm sure you will find your favorites. So let's go in quali, do a lap for the race. Mücke BWT Audi. Maybe, I'm not sure. Is it a pink one? I know the BWT AMG Mercedes is there. Not sure about the Audi, to be honest. But there's so many liveries, I kinda lost track. Whoops. Shouldn't read the chat. But it's always a possibility that we're going to add more liveries if certain liveries are appealing enough and would look good in the game. On a car like the Corvette that doesn't have a lot of liveries, it's a good chance that we add new ones as they appear in real life. The update will come out this week. I don't want to promise you that it comes out tomorrow. We are trying to get it out tomorrow, but it all depends on, you know, various tests that we're doing. If we find a game-stopping or game-breaking bug, then of course we will have to fix that. We cannot let that happen, but we're trying to get it out tomorrow, guys. Keep your fingers crossed. We are doing our best to get it out there. So if all goes well and we don't find any bugs, then you can expect a maintenance tomorrow when we deploy the patch. Might take a while, but we will start it as soon as possible and hopefully be done before the evening, before you guys will jump into your simulators. Again, no promises about tomorrow, but we will try to make it happen. We will do our best. Thank you. Oh man, this car drives so well. Wasn't the fastest lap, of course. I had some traffic, but that's okay, because then we'll have a more exciting race now. So let's end this session and do the race. Let's make sure that we have enough fuel on board. Let's add a little bit here. And off we go. P28, man, this will be a busy race for us. I hope we can stay out of trouble. So far so good. You definitely need to avoid that sausage curve on the inside here in turn 1. If you're hitting it in the wrong angle, it might just flip you over and roll your car. It's a bit of traffic jam here as always. All good though, all good. We made 1 place. 27 to go. Not sure if anything or what changed in VR with this patch. I mean, there's always bug fixes and small improvements from update to update, but I don't think anything groundbreaking has been done to VR. Obviously the big change is going to be the triple screen support this patch. We got a slight hit there by our Corvette buddy here, Assenheimer. Missed the apex here completely. I'm a bit too careful on the throttle. I think I can accelerate a bit harder out of those corners. I'm so used to the old physics, you know, where you have to be super careful about anything you do. The car is always oversteering and understeering. But this new physics are so much more comfortable to drive. The car does exactly what you tell it to do. See you on track, Michael. We got a good run out of this corner. The racing licenses are hopefully back on the development plan now that we made good progress on the other feature that was requested by us, or yeah, which was the Race to Win competition concept that you have already also probably heard about if you're reading the Sector 3 forums. So I'm hoping myself. I cannot promise you guys anything about ranked multiplayer and licensing and stuff like that, but it definitely will become again a higher priority now that other things have been done. But as always, it's very difficult to lay out a timeline for such big features. There's a lot of work involved, and in every development progress or cycle, sometimes unforeseen things can happen. Sometimes due to a partner or a competition or a new license or stuff like that, you know, priorities are shifting sometimes. But no, always need to look at the positive side. As long as we are having partners that are doing competitions with us and are supporting us financially, that will always mean that we will be able to continue to work on RaceRoom. And so sometimes we need to do things that might not appear as important to you guys, but always keep in mind that we are doing those things so we can stay in business, and that will be beneficial to all of us in the end. We have been developing RaceRoom now for how long? 3-4 years? Even longer, if you count the time before the actual first beta release. And this is only possible because we have strong partners in the background that are pushing this game forward. Yeah, I also think that that the ranked multiplayer and licensing system will be quite the game changer. It will definitely bring RaceRoom to a new level. I hope we can get it out as soon as possible, guys. I'm pushing for it every day. Five years in January, yeah, there you go. So these two Audis are fighting each other. Maybe we can squeeze by here on the inside. Looks good. Hello, Alonso Power. Yeah, I'm excited too, trust me. I hope we can get it out tomorrow. But I'm quite optimistic. Unless we find any game-breaking bugs, a release tomorrow seems quite likely. But I don't want to promise, because we did that before and couldn't always keep those promises. But I'm sure you would agree that it's worth waiting 1 or 2 days longer for quality instead of a buggy experience. Alright, I'm pushing. What's now? P23. I really like that rear design of the Corvette. Looks very sharp. The 4GT definitely has been balanced to be more competitive, or let's say less competitive, or to put it correctly, it should be competitive but not overpowered anymore. So I don't think the Ford GT will be the go-to car anymore. Definitely not. But even now, currently in life, the Ford GT it's easy to drive fast with the Ford GT. But again, I've seen guys driving the roof just as fast, and also other cars. At the end of the day, it's always 90% driver, 10% car. Wow, was braking so late and still made that corner, can't believe it. I braked right onto that apex. That was very much on the limit. 10 minutes to go. Turner Motorsport, also very nice livery, that one. On the BMW M6. Wow. Force feedback, guys, has also improved quite a bit, I think. And that's not because we changed the force feedback code. There was nothing wrong with the code at all. It's actually really good. But the physics changes also are being reflected in the force feedback, of course. So again, I can recommend you guys watch the race department stream from yesterday. Or was it the day before yesterday? No, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Where Alex Hodgkinson, our physics developer, was answering questions to Paul Jeffrey. So make sure you watch it on YouTube, on the race department channel. He goes into very great detail about physics changes and what exactly he did in those in the new cars. Well, not only in the new cars, obviously all the old cars are being updated as well. Yeah, it's a pretty good fight here against the AI. Slowly making up places, P16. Whoops. Missing the apex there a little bit. I think after this race I will do one more short one on the Nordschleife because it's awesome. Best track in the world. Such a pleasure to drive as well with these new cars. So you guys let me know which car you want to see on the Nordschleife after this one. I think we'll just do a 2-lap race or so, and then we'll call it a night. The new GTE Aston Martin, I'm not a big fan, I have to say. I kinda like the old one better. Looks a bit like a Mazda to me in the front. But yeah, I mean, it's still a cool car. No doubt about that. I'll probably change my mind after I get used to seeing it also in more race liveries on track. Land Audi on the Nordschleife. That's the green one, isn't it? Village road, yeah. Well, it used to be, or is it still? Some parts of the Nordschleife are being used for regular traffic, right? Hello, Freddy. How's it going? Really, RC? I mean, in my opinion, you could already feel the bumps very well in the old physics. Those was never the problem. But yeah, I mean, the force feedback definitely has improved overall, so make sure that you, I don't know which wheel you're using, but if you have changed any settings, you can always try and go to your controller profiles and load the default setup, which in most cases should be fairly well tuned. And from there you can adjust the force feedback strength on a per car basis if you go to car setup steering settings and change the force feedback multiplier. That's the only thing I change in the force feedback at all. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely feel those bumps in this car, for sure. Audi Sport Land Team number 29. Yes, I'll get that one after this race. So P14. I'm almost a bit bummed that this race is not longer. I'm having so much fun moving through the field here. But so after this one we'll drive on the Nordschleife, and I'll just start last or so we can overtake a few cars. Wow, kept it on the outside there. Still there. T300. Yeah, make sure you give the default profile another go, because I remember driving that wheel and it felt actually really good to me. So it's 2 more laps. Let's see if we can move into at least P11. Should be possible. Ice cold braking inside. I think P10. Maybe we can even go into top 10. Let's see. Braking a bit too late. I think B10 is out of reach. That's Luca Ludwig ahead of us and Uwe Alten. Nope, old setups I don't think will work now. So definitely make sure to reset your setup next time you go out on track with a car that you had set up before. Otherwise you might experience some strange things. So definitely make sure to reset your setups, guys. It can't hurt also if you go into your documents and the RaceRoom folder. Can't hurt to delete that one every once in a while, you know, when new patches came out. Of course, you can always make a backup in case you have replay files or screenshots or setups that you still need. But yeah, you don't have to delete those folders, but sometimes it's not bad to do it every once in a while. Okay, we are already in the final lap, so I don't think we will make up any positions anymore in the last two corners. That was a fun race though. Good fights with the AI. Could continue driving like this for a while. How big is the update? In file size? I don't know, but I'm guessing it's gonna be quite big. A few gigs I'm expecting. Could very well be. Okay guys, so I'm gonna head out here and load up the Audi on the Nordschleife. If I can find that car, is it Monteplas by Landsport 29? Yeah. Actually, that one is GT Masters, isn't it? There was another 29 somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. Never mind, let's just get that one. And then we go on the VLAN circuit. And why you guys don't watch the Audi trailer meanwhile. There you go, Audi. And here we are on the Nordschleife. I'll just do a quick installation. Not an entire lap, but maybe a lap on the Grand Prix circuit. Make sure everything feels alright. Doug, the AI is set to 110%. Hello Paul, how are you? No, not yet. But I'm assuming that Fnatic will definitely send us one once they have that available for developers. Okay, this feels good. So I didn't adjust the race length, but we will just do 2 or 3 laps and then we'll call it a night. So that means we return to garage, go to car setup, make sure we have at least 4 laps of fuel, and then we're gonna switch skip quali. We are trying to do our best to get it out tomorrow, Thomas, but I cannot promise to you. If we find any game-breaking bugs, we will have to fix those first, but I'm quite optimistic that we'll make it tomorrow. Fingers crossed, guys. So, okay. End session. Here we go then. Chat, stop scrolling. Oh man. There we go then. I don't know why these things are happening. OBS, man. But at least the stream is running smooth, I hope. So that's already a positive then. Here we go into the race, starting from all the way from the back, so this might get a little bit messy in the first few corners, but we'll try our best to avoid any potential crashes. Everybody made it around turn 1, it's already good. Yeah, I noticed that too. The Ludwig curb is missing on the inside on that corner. Not sure if that's a VLN specific thing that they that it's intentionally that way. It could be. Almost went wide here. But you will see the Ludwig curbs here. There you have them. Not recommended to drive over these things. It will definitely send you flying. You don't want that. And on to the Nordschleife. Greatest track of them all. One track to rule them all. Such a pleasure to drive. DTM 17 is not a thing, Thomas, unfortunately. We don't have the license anymore for DTM. It ran out in 2016. So that's why we never announced DTM 17, and that's why it also won't come out. But I'm still enjoying 2016 just as much. Pretty much the same cars anyway. Some small differences, especially on the Audi, of course. But taking into consideration the amount of money the DTM license costs, I don't necessarily think it's worth it at this point where we already have 4 seasons of DTM in the game. Come on, come on. This should be an Audi corner. Yeah, looks like. This one too. I was a bit too early on the throttle here. Had a good braking into this one though. Oh, there was still a car on the inside. The carbon Callaway doesn't give up that easily, looks like. Let's see how quick our Audi is up the hill here now in Kesselchen. Going through the Lauda kink here. Bergberg corner with a late apex. To be in the throttle as soon as possible. Wasn't quite as good. I was braking a bit too late. But we're getting an okay drive out of this one. Probably have to keep it in 5th gear up here, unless you're in the slipstream. Now approaching Mutkurve, which should be just a tap on the brake. Yeah, it was even a bit too much on the brake. Could have gone faster through that corner. Hard brake, close the tail. Up to the carousel. Let's hope the AI manages. Yes, they do. Probably even quicker than myself. Hohe 8. It's 4th into 3rd gear. Could probably keep it in 4th gear up here as well. Now Wippermann heavy over the curbs. Wow, almost lost it there. München, let's try to brake. No, he was blocking the inside. Ice Kurve, it's very slippery here, as you can see. AI is struggling, yellow flags are out. Oh, this is dangerous. Over the Transgarten jump. Side by side still. Wow, this is insane. Had to let the Corvette through again. Stay very close here to the Bell of S. Not a spot to overtake on the outside here. The Schwalbenschwanz. Ooh, nice. To be very careful on the exit. You need a good trajectory coming out of that corner. Otherwise you can get easy oversteer. And now full throttle onto the straights. We're not in an ideal position here for slipstream. A bit too close. Oh, this is better. Yeah, we're gaining already. The Corvette behind us also very quick. We can see the Audi, not the quickest car on the straight lines, around 260. I think the Mercedes AMG is probably almost 10 kilometers quicker. But of course the Audi is very quick in the corners and on the brakes as well. Lap 1 done. Haven't really gained as much places as I wanted to, but maybe it will go quicker from here. Carbon livery is too aggressive, yeah. Let's see if we can overtake that BMW into the NGK chicane, or whatever that chicane is called nowadays. No, that would have been way too risky. Maybe down there, yes. Great brake performance by the Audi. I think this corner could be flat if you hit the apex spot on. Such a roller coaster ride, this track. Love it. Very small tap on the brake only here for Schwedenkreuz. If you have a if you have balls of steel, maybe you can take it flat out. This one is definitely flat out here through Fuchsröhre. You can hear the car bottoming out over the curb on the inside. Down to third gear, second gear. Out in our forced. Need a good exit from this one here. Don't use too much of the curb on the outside. Probably keep it in fifth for this one. Down into third. Yeah, this corner is actually flat in the Audi. I don't think you can take it flat out in any of the other cars. Or let's say in the more heavy cars like the AMG. Yep, slowly making our way to the front. Thank you. I should have gone down to second gear a bit earlier here. reach slipstream. Hero's already up the hill a bit. I don't think we are quite close enough, are we? Yeah, we're scratching on the slipstream. This corner, Kurve, is very exciting to drive in this Audi. But it's tons of aerodynamic grip. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat, but so busy on this track. Need to tab out to OBS, why? What's wrong? Oops. Yeah, completely lost the rhythm. The delta is showing +10 because I'm more than 10 seconds faster than my previous lap. It's not going any higher than that. Obviously the previous lap was the starting lap, so that's why it was so slow. Those are Nordschleife things, even 20 minutes into the race. We're still only in lap 2. Actually, we're already... there's only one more lap after this one. So let's make sure we overtake a few cars. It's another corner where you can really feel the quicker you go, the more grip you have because of the downforce. Hi Falschfahrer, fühlen sich sehr gut an die neuen Autos, sehr empfehlenswert. Definitiv ein Schritt nach vorne seit im Vergleich zu den alten Fahrzeugen. So here's a little bit of German for you. Not a good spot on the track to be reading the chat on the phone. You should really keep your eyes on the road because you don't want to hit the Armco with 250 Ks on the display. Okay guys, we have one more lap and then we'll call it a night. can see the delta is now back to normal. Currently 1 second quicker than on my previous lap. Or not anymore. Definitely catching the BMW ahead though. Let's see. No, tires are not perfect anymore. Can't do it flat out. Feels very natural hitting these high curbs, you know. If you hit them in the right angle, that is. There are some curbs you can drive. You can drive over on Nordschleife, and some you shouldn't. But those that you can drive over, it definitely really feels good. The car is not losing control immediately. It's really quite planted. Almost flat out Schweden cards. It's Jörg Müller ahead of us and Jamie Campbellwater. That's an old familiar name. Oh yeah, P19, Alan Simonson. Rest in peace indeed. Yeah, if you're pushing really hard, you can of course still have fun with these cars. But you need to be pushing much harder now to really be on the limit. Which I am doing currently. Trying to catch the BMW ahead of me. Yeah, this time we got a good exit. Bit of oversteer on the exit, but this should give us a good run up the hill. Oops. If we wouldn't, we put in the right gear, that is. Not ideal again. I hit the curb on the inside. You should not hit that curb. Ooh, what's going on here? Yellow flag. Yeah, you got a spinner right here. Back to green. It's a bit too wide here. That's one of the curbs that you can drive over. This should be Audi territory again, these fast corners, even though it's flat out anyway, so probably be flat out in all the cars. See how our top speed compares to the BMW ahead of us. I think we might get just a little bit of slipstream, but so is he, I think. Yeah, we might actually reach more than 270 now this time, or scratching on 268. Enough to overtake the BMW though. If he lets us, if he plays along, yes he does. One more chicane coming up. Yo, this is it guys. And now instead of crossing the finish line, I'm gonna hit the replay button and finish the stream off with a little replay on the nose dive. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're looking forward to get your hands on these cars. It shouldn't be long, hopefully tomorrow, but definitely this week. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you had as much fun as I did. And yeah, keep an eye out for the release of these cars in the coming days. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I see you guys in the next one. Take care, goodbye.